What's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles, welcoming you to another installment of Lyles Figure Files. I kind of feel like going Hasbro. We've been telling you this for 2-3 years now. You make 6-inch G.I. Joe figures, they're going to sell out. People are going to be all over this line, clamoring for new releases to the point where you need to make 5 figures per wave. Then we go, hey Hasbro, we really want some G.I. Joe Classified Series vehicles. Ram cycles. Sold out everywhere. There's a mass panic to get the Baroness bike. And those are two relatively chump vehicles. So with today's conclusion of Yojo June, we got the first real vehicle for the Classified Series. It's the HISS tank. And we got the teaser of how much it was going to cost. And we got the big reveal today, and I think for the most part it really lived up to our expectations. It has that classic HISS tank look. I mean, it looks like that snake if you have the right eye set and kind of like, oh yeah, I see the snake here. And it's great. The HISS tank driver looks good. They've added some new modern flourishes to it to really take it up to another level. But for the most part, it's the classic HISS tank in classified series format. There's so many cool features to this thing, and I just want to break down a few of them. I know you're like me, you watched that live stream and got excited with every tease, with every reveal. The turret, let's start with that. The guns rotate up and down, so it's not locked in place. You can have aiming at a Sky Striker and aiming at the Vamp right ahead. Really nice feature, nice addition. The cockpit still opens the classic sense, but you can now also open the left and the right doors so the driver can actually slide in that way. The cockpit harness is really cool. It looks like one of those fancy race car setups, and it's got an LED display or lights up. They've got lights in the HISS tank all over. My favorite is the Cobra logo that just shines that bright red in the distance. That reminds me of Spider-Man's signal belt. That's a really cool touch. Really like that. In the back, you can open it, put a Cobra Trooper in there. I would love to have been able to put like 3 or 4 in there, like that modern one when they did the 25th anniversary line where it actually raised up so you could really see the fang of the HISS tank. I really like that HISS tank, and I love the fact that I could stock several Cobra Troopers in there. We can only get 1 in there, maybe another 1 standing. That's something I wish they could have done a little bit more to increase that backspace. There's no lowered cockpit, but that's okay because I think the rest of it is really well done. I do think the back could stand to be a little bit wider, a little bit bigger, so we could have more standing on the back. But this is what I wanted out of the HISS tank, and Hasbro delivered big time. It's got lots of cool features. Like I said, I love all of the light up features to it. The tank treads actually move. That's a nice feature as well. It really conveys that full tank, Cobra tank feel to it with that moving around. And there's just little small details like the engine block having the Mars logo. That's a cool thing. I mean, there's so much, and I'm really feeling it. I think that this was exactly what I was hoping Hasbro would deliver with this HISS tank. The HISS tank driver looks cool, and as a new plus, he's got swappable hands. I know several of you said in the comments, I'd love to see them swap out some hands with people. And this is great because this is our first kind of foray into that. So now they're showing this is something else they're going to include and incorporate with other figures, hopefully. But yeah, the HISS tank driver looks great. I always thought he looked cool. And the shiny boots, the red outfit, he's just a cool looking figure and definitely somebody worthy of driving the showcase vehicle in our collection as far as the Cobra vehicles go right now. On the back, there's a hook to allow for toes. There seemed to be a tease, maybe not that subtle, that you could use this for an incentive, a tier. One thing that I thought was kind of surprising, they didn't reveal any of the tiers. There's 4, but they haven't shown anything yet. And I know my imagination is running wild with all the different things. Maybe a missile block, maybe an asp, maybe just something really small that's like, okay, here's a little tow rig, that a small portable gun set so you can kind of have a sidecar for your HISS tank. there's lots of options, but I'm really glad they're thinking forward about, hey, what else can we include with this guy or with this HISS tank? But yeah, I really think this is really cool. And just to kind of make it a little bit more fun, Hasbro's included a special early bird special. So if you buy it within the first 8 days, if it gets fully backed, you get a special repainted HISS tank driver based off of Roger Rudet's original color design for it, which we vote on. I don't necessarily like the sense of voting because American voting, but I think this will be a really cool feature and something that is a nice bonus. The HISS tank driver and this HISS tank technician will have separate boxes, so if you really want to line up your boxes, you can have them set up. And they kind of tease like that's a way for completionists to continue on with everything. They won't have the separate thing like normal with these vehicles. But I really think this is what we were hoping to see. Of course, with these tiers, that's really going to determine a lot to help bring down the price of the HISS tank itself, because it's $299, and after taxes and shipping with Hasbro Pulse, it came out to $321.99 for me. That's not cheap, but with a decent amount of incentive tiers, maybe a couple other figures, that could take that price down for the HISS tank by itself to $221. 4 figures nowadays would be $100, so it's not that big a stretch. And looking at all the extra goodies they included with the Sky Striker, I don't think that's unreasonable. But yeah, this is a really, really cool thing, and definitely a good start for larger scale vehicles for the classified series. And I'm clearly not the only one to think so. As of 12:46 p.m., so not even 2 hours since the live stream ended, the sucker's already at 3,805 backers. It only needs 8,000. I think that's a really good target range for this kind of offering. But Hasbro may not even need to show us these tiers before it's fully funded, which I think is crazy. Now take a look at Star Wars Black Series Reva, the third sister Force FX lightsaber, which has been going on for a long time. It only has 1,298 backers. So clearly, G.I. Joe classified series vehicles, definitely something that the collectors, the fans want to see. I think the most exciting part of how quickly this is getting funded is it should show a big neon sign to Hasbro. We want more classified series vehicles. If you need to put them on Pulse to get them up there and out, we'd love to get retail vehicles. Some of you guys mentioned the Devilfish. That's a totally great option. The Armadillo. These are small, mostly single pilot kind of vehicles that should work at retail with no problem. You could charge $60 or $70 for a Devilfish, and I don't think anybody would be like, that sucks, it's too much. A Skyhawk is something else that should work at retail. But clearly there is a market for G.I. Joe classified series vehicles. But you know, all of us who've been collecting that already knew that. We've been like, yo, how long before we get vehicles added to this thing? And now that we do, and Hasbro sees very clearly there's a demand even for something at $299, I can't wait to see what the future holds. It's really exciting. And I'll be back, of course, breaking down all these tiers and what we're going to get with the HISS tank. But I am so excited to see how quickly this is going, how excited the collector base is for this deal, and can't wait to see what this opens up now for the classified series. So let me know what you think. Are you really turned off the price? Are you still waiting to hear from the tiers? Let's see what you think. This episode of Lyle's Figure Files has been filed.